Hey, what's up, movie fans? This is Richie's review, and today we're going to be talking about Logan. Logan is supposed to be the last and final appearance of Hugh Jackman as the character Wolverine. Although, I'm still holding out hope that we get to see some kind of scene with him in the new Deadpool movie, or a Deadpool movie. Anyway, Logan is rated R for violence, language, and violence. Yes, I realize I said valence twice. There's just that much slice and stab going on in this movie. Basically, this movie is about Logan and Charles Xavier come across a little girl with a certain set of skills that they are getting to safety because she's being chased down by a group of, let's just say, mercenaries. For those of you unaware, this movie was loosely taken from the comic book Old Man Logan. It's a pretty good read. I suggest you check it out if you ever get a chance. Not too bad. Anyway, I say loosely, meaning that they kind of borrowed some of the more, overall story points from this comic book. And you can kind of see it if you're familiar with this comic book at all. They couldn't make the whole comic book because, plain and simple, there's just way too many characters in there that Fox does not have the rights to, and they legally wouldn't be able to make that comic book. Anyway, don't worry, guys. Rest assured, for the Old Man Logan fans out there, this movie has all of the Wolverine action you could ever want. It was just a good old glorious bloodbath. With that being said, the movie still managed to get really deep and pull you in with some strong emotional moments. There were scenes with Logan and the girl, and even Logan and Charles, that I felt like were really powerful. One of the things they did in this movie that I liked particularly was they made you think about what it would be like for a mutant or a person with abilities would have to deal with as they age or get older. When you're younger, you're not quite as spry as you once did. Not everything works as well as it used to work. And they just did a fantastic job of making you feel their age when you're watching this movie. There's a couple parts in this where Logan and Charles were just like two grumpy old men just going back and forth with each other. And to me, it really added to their relationship, their historic relationship over the many years that they've been on screen together. Now, because this movie is so intense and rated R, it's like unlike any other thing you've seen from an X-Men movie with the exception of Deadpool, of course. You just didn't know where they was going to go from a safety standpoint of the main characters. Unlike other movies, like some of the other X-Men movies or superhero movies, like you feel a sense of safety because you just don't think the movie has the gusto to really go for it. You just don't know with this movie because they've already given you some really intense action scenes, and you know they're not afraid to go for it. And you're just not sure what's going to happen. And that does a really good job of keeping you vested into the storyline. They threw some really good surprises in there with the action scenes. I just kind of watched it with ooh and ah and all the rage that Wolverine could muster. I only had one complaint about this movie, and that was kind of early on in the movie, and that was the fact that I felt like they tried a little too hard to let you know that they were rated R. I personally like my dialogue to just be natural and good and fluid. And with the language really early on, I just felt like it was over the top. I just felt like it was over the top for the language, and they was just saying, hey, look at me, guys, we're rated R, we can do whatever we want. And I was like, I get it, guys. You can do this, let's get on with the story, let's get this thing popping. And as the story progressed, everything just kind of flew naturally and kind of leveled out into a really good movie, and they just kind of sucked you into that world pretty quick. And like I said, that was just a very small gripe at the beginning, and it didn't ruin the movie at all. It just was glaring, I felt like, at first. Anyway, I love the little girl was on screen. I just watched her with awe and amazement every time she was on screen. It was such a joy seeing her do her thing. And buddy, does she do her thing. I understood everything that was going on in this movie. They kind of give you a gist of the background and the history leading up to this movie and kind of explaining why the characters are where they are doing what they're doing. A lot of that may be because I've already read the comic book. And like I said, it's kind of one of the story elements that's kind of flipped around a little bit that helped me understand it better. If for some reason you didn't understand or you have any questions, then hey, feel free to message me privately. I'll be glad to talk to you about anything you might have, or you just want to talk about the movie in general. Please keep the comic section spoiler free for a few days because there's still a lot of people who have not seen this movie yet. But anyway, guys, I enjoyed this movie a lot. If you are an X-Men or Wolverine fan, you've probably already seen this movie. If so, comment and let me know what you think. If you're not a Wolverine or X-Men fan, I think you still might enjoy this film, especially if you like violent action. Anyway, it's time for our three choices that we have in this movie. Certainly is not throw it in the garbo, but is most definitely go to the theater to watch it. Again, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was great. It was a breath of fresh air to see this. Again, a lot of violence, so just be aware of that. Hey, that's our review for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a comment and let me know what you think. And follow me on Instagram. Just got a new Instagram account. It's at ConfireRich. And until next time, guys, I'm out.